You have the opportunity as an older woman to be a much more feminine, mature woman who radiates feminine energy that is attractive in its own right, that can outshine even younger women in that way.
That's why it has to be a mixture of your standards and how you treat people mixed with the unique things about you. And even if they're things that aren't the best or whatever, those things can still be endearing if they're done in the right way.
I think the mistake that a lot of older women are like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, age doesn't matter, looks don't matter. So like I can look just as good as a younger woman. And so when they have that mindset, the downfall of that mindset is that then they don't think that they have to show up. They can just show up however they want. Think about it, because some people aren't grounded in reality. They just don't think that. They think that what their ideals are is what people should conform to and what the world is. And that's not the case. And so, but yeah, I don't think it's hopeless at all. In fact, I think that you have the opportunity as an older woman to be a much more feminine, mature woman who radiates feminine energy that is attractive in its own right, that can outshine even younger women in that way.
Because you have the wisdom and the knowledge, that they don't necessarily have. And I wanted to say that if you're a woman too, in this sort of half of who we're talking about, that instead of focusing on the plastic surgery or trying to look like you're in your 20s still, focus on developing yourself as a person. Just like I told the 20-year-olds, like the thing that will make you stand out the most and have the most impact, even on dates and your future partner, is who you are as a person.
Right.
So instead of being like, I'm going to go get this plastic surgery, be like, I'm going to go work on not allowing things to anger me or cause a reaction out of me, or, work on, instead of being so aggressive and in control, I'm going to learn to like soften and not stress about it and be more at peace, and, maybe pick up a hobby that gives me more serenity in my life. Like, focus on those things and who you are and how that isn't replaceable. Because again, the thing is that, and I tell you this all the time, you'll never find another me. And I have my faults. I'm not saying that in a cocky way where like, I'm so amazing. You'll never find another me.
Right.
I'm saying that in a way that like, you could find somebody that maybe like treats you similar, like the actions that I do potentially, but they will never have the quirks and the special things that make me me.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So that's why it has to be a mixture of your standards and like how you treat people mixed with the unique things about you. And even if they're like things that aren't like the best or whatever, you can still, those things can still be endearing if they're done in the right way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Like the uniqueness of it.
Right. Well, because those traits become endearing based on how you show up in the relationship.
Well, and how you treat people.
Yeah, exactly. Because the same thing that could be annoying could be endearing. It just depends on how the perception is based on how you're showing up in the relationship. So, but I think that, if you're the kind of woman that is focused on learning these things and learning, I mean, what guy, would not want to date a woman who is older, but understands how to actually be like put in the work and be really good in the relationship and take care of a man and treat him like a king and, and elevate him to a higher spiritual level and to, and to be empathetic towards him and understand, and to be that kind of support that he needs to be out there and facing the world, right? So it's like, as a man, right? I can say that most men, that if you're a high quality man and you understand these things, if you marry a young woman, you're going to have to teach her these things. Like, it's not just something that women are taught. And so you're going to have to work through those things with her. And so it's going to be a lot of effort and work to get to that point, to lead the relationship to where it needs to go. But if you have a woman that already understands these things, that's already that far along,
or sees the value already.
There's a huge value in that. So maybe you don't want to do all that work. Maybe you don't want to get that 22-year-old girl that you're going to have to do so much work to lead her in the right direction and whatnot. And, so I'm just saying, like, there is an appeal to it. But as an older woman, you can't just be like, I think the mistake that a lot of older women are like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. Looks don't matter. It's like I can look just as good as a younger woman. And so when they have that mindset, the downfall of that mindset is that then they don't think that they have to show up. They can just show up however they want. Mm-hmm. And if you realize that you're competing with younger women and that is a high bar for attracting a man's attention that you're competing with, then you understand that you got to be showing up with something much that overcompensates for that, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, if you're a woman that already understands these things, you've been watching this podcast, like you understand, like, hey, if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm going to be feminine. I'm going to treat you right. I've worked on all these things. Mm-hmm. That moves the balance where it's like, yeah, these ditzy young women, not for me. I don't like that. I want a mature woman that gets it, mm-hmm. right? But if you're a mature woman and you don't get it, don't kid yourself. Like, how are you going to compete?
Right. No, you're right. Better than